How would you like to have your own plant nursery that'll save you tons of money on plants that you can build by yourself in a couple of hours for less than $100? Hi, I'm Dwight, and over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to do just that, step by step. Let's get started. So why would you want to do this in the first place? You can store plants until you're ready to put them in the ground. I have another video that's about landscaping for free or very inexpensively by buying small plants and letting them grow a little bit, then planting them large. Also use your nursery for propagation. You can split plants, put them in separate pots, and turn one plant into 5 or 10. And also just to have a good staging area for your new plants before they go into the ground for your next landscaping project. So some of the tools you're going to need are pretty basic. You'll need a shovel, a good quality shovel. I use a Fisker's heavy-duty shovel with a steel handle. I've had this for years. You can pry things with it. It's pretty much indestructible. You'll need a garden rake to smooth out the area. You'll also need maybe a pickaxe if you've got a lot of roots in the area or rocks that you need to pull out. A tarp is good to have handy, just so once you've pulled out all the debris, all the vegetation, things like that, it makes it easy to haul away. You'll need a hammer or a mallet for the staples to hold the landscape fabric down. And you'll need scissors or a knife to cut the landscape fabric to the right size. And then finally, I use a knee pad. It just makes it easy on my knees. This is what I use. It's a knee pad, very, very simple, very inexpensive, does the trick for me. And the materials you'll need. I'll have links to all the products that I used in my project in the description down below. You'll need landscape fabric. Just determine how much you need after you've picked your location. We'll talk about the location in just a few minutes. You'll need landscape fabric staples, very inexpensive. I recommend getting a few extra or an extra pack. They're really cheap. You'll need a hose that can reach from your faucet to whatever area you're going to have for your nursery. And you'll need, I recommend having a hose splitter. That way you're not tying up maybe your one spigot, your one faucet that you have. This allows you, this is a brass one, lasts pretty much forever. Lets you turn on one or use your other hose if you need it. And also a hose timer. This is perfect for your nursery. It allows you to turn it on, set it, and it'll just water the nursery every day for you, or however often you have it. I've got a couple different orbit timers that I'll show you in a few minutes. Okay, so step one, pick your location. This is the most important step in the whole project. You want to find a location that obviously has a good amount of sun most of the day, maybe 4 to 6 hours at a minimum. Not a lot of roots in the area, ideally, because you don't want to have to spend a lot of time chopping through roots, which could kill the trees or other vegetation you have around it. Pick an area that doesn't have a lot of rocks in it, if you can help that. Just pick a location that's going to be convenient for you. You also want to find a location, we talked about having enough sun. I have mine on the south side of my property where there are no trees on the south between the nursery and where the sun shines most of the year. So I do have trees on the north, east, and west side of the nursery, but they're not close enough or big enough so that they stop most of the sunlight. I still have probably about 7 hours of sun in the middle of the summer. Step two, remove the vegetation. Get all the vegetation out from where the landscape fabric is going to go. We'll talk about the landscape fabric and how to lay that in a few minutes. But you want it to be smooth underneath. You don't want to have a lot of roots or rocks. You don't want it to be a big slope if you can help that. But just try to get it as smooth as you can by removing the vegetation, the weeds, whatever plants. Make your area nice and smooth. Trees that would be blocking from getting to the sunlight, getting to the plants. You don't want to have to cut down a lot of trees or any trees if you can help it. But there might be some tree limbs that might need pruning. Just kind of go out there maybe a couple times during the day and look to see if the spot that you've picked is getting the sunlight that you want it to have. Do a little bit of pruning if you need to. Step 3, level the ground. Once you've got all the vegetation cleared and smooth, then you want to level it. You want to make sure that there are no big hills or dips where water could pool, anything like that. Make the level area also a little bit bigger than where your landscape fabric is going to go, and just make the whole project a little bit easier. Okay, step 4, lay down the landscape fabric. Try keeping it straight. Most landscape fabric has lines painted on it to help you keep it straight. I've tried several brands of landscape fabric. I'm not really stuck on one, but I have a link to a really good quality and good value landscape fabric that I've used many times in the description, and it's done really well for me. If you're laying pieces side by side, whatever the landscape fabric comes in many widths and many lengths. If you get some that you need to have a couple of widths and lay it side by side, make sure you overlap the landscape fabric at least 6 inches, just to make sure that the weeds don't pop up. Step 5 is staple the landscape fabric down. Every 1 to 2 feet around the entire perimeter of the landscape fabric needs a staple. Use your hammer or your mallet, just tap it in the ground. It should be easy. If you hit a rock or a root or something like that, move it a couple inches and tap it there. Also, if you've put 2 pieces of landscape fabric together side by side or lengthwise, make sure that you put a staple probably every foot or less to make sure that you've got a good connection there. And finally, step number 6, hook up the water. Use a good quality hose that won't kink and will hold up to the UV rays from the sun, so it'll last for years and years to come. I recommend using a splitter at your faucet. Again, this is the one I showed you before. It's all brass construction. Even the little levers here are brass. I've had some that have plastic levers. They snap off after a year or so. So get one that's good quality brass, very inexpensive, and then connect your timer. I've got 2 different models here. These are both Orbit brand timers. This one I've had for probably 10 years, still works like a charm. They're very easy to set up. They have a large dial on the front where you can you put a battery in it, you set the clock, you set which days you want it to water, you set how often you want it to water. Maybe you just want to water once a day. Maybe you want to water twice a day. And then you set how long do you want it to water. If you're going to water it once a day, maybe you want it to go for 20, 30 minutes a day. You set that, and then you just switch it to auto, and you're good to go. They're also, most of these timers have a manual, a manual button. So if you just want to go out and give it an extra shot of water, press manual, and it clicks on for, I think this model goes on for 10 minutes, something like that. So really, really cool little timers. They're set and forget. They'll last you a long time. This one right here, you can see, has 1 input, but 2 outputs. So you can connect 2 different hoses to it for maybe different areas of your nursery, or one for your yard, one for your nursery, and you can set each one to go on at a different schedule. Great idea. Everybody has their own favorite sprinkler. Just use one you like. Just make sure you test it in your nursery to make sure that it gives you the coverage you want, that it's not spraying a lot of water where you don't want it, so you're not wasting water, and it is covering all the plants in your nursery. So that's it. You're ready to move your plants in. Over the next few days, adjust the timer if you need to, and the sprinkler, move it around if you need to make sure that it's covering all the plants that you need it to. Adjust the timer if you need more or less watering. There's very little maintenance after this is all set up. Occasionally just blow the leaves off or lightly rake them off, and then check the water coverage a few times, maybe every few weeks, just to make sure that it's still giving you the coverage that you need for the watering. And that's it. The whole project is very easy to do, and it can be done in just a couple hours depending on the ground prep that's needed and the size that you want. So here are just a few pictures of my finished nursery, but you can also see in this photo here that I have an irrigation system. I started out with a hose and sprinkler. for a while, and then I decided to just redo that portion and put some irrigation in, since I have an irrigation system on my lawn anyway, so that's just another zone. But you don't need to do that. Do what's easy. Hose and sprinkler works perfectly fine. Having your own plant nursery can save you tons of money by buying smaller plants and letting them grow for a little while, or buying plants and splitting them into pots, multiple pots, to multiply them. Or for nursing unhealthy plants back to good health away from your landscaping. Future videos I'll do will include how-tos on dividing plants, building rock walls and pebble walkways, irrigation, and lots of other frugal do-it-yourself landscape projects and techniques. So check back. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. So until next time, thanks for spending time in the backyard with me. Let's keep building beautiful landscapes on a budget.